I've been a doctor for over 30 years, and what I'm about to tell you is something I was once told to keep quiet about. One morning, after fasting all night, I went in for my own blood test. I followed the same routine I'd told patients for years, but when the results came back, they showed kidney trouble, high blood sugar, and abnormal cholesterol. I was stunned. I repeated the test a week later, this time following the real rules, and my results were perfectly normal. That's when it hit me. Millions of seniors, especially women over 60, are getting false results every single day because of simple, preventable mistakes. And here's a part no one tells you. The blood testing industry is part of a trillion-dollar health market. Labs and pharmaceutical companies profit when your results look abnormal. More abnormal results mean more medications, more follow-ups, more money changing hands. It's about exposing a system that profits when you get it wrong. Drinking coffee, skipping water, fasting for the wrong number of hours, even taking your vitamins too close to the test. These are not harmless choices. They can change your results by 20, 30, even 40%. And when that number is printed on paper, it can change your entire treatment plan. That's why in this video, I'm going to reveal the 10 most dangerous mistakes senior women make before blood tests, ranked from least to most dangerous. And when we get to mistake number 3, you'll see the shocking reason why one overlooked habit can distort nearly every test on the page. It's the one mistake I see almost everyone make, and once you hear it, you'll never walk into a lab the same way again. And remember, every claim I'm about to share is backed by real science. Links to the studies are waiting in the description. Before we dive in, here's a quick question. How old are you and where are you watching from? I love reading your answers because it turns this into more than just a video. It's a global conversation. I jump into the comments daily, replying like it's a coffee chat with a friend. Now, without any further ado, let's start with number 10 in this countdown. And it's a mistake so simple that millions of seniors make it every single morning without realizing how much it wrecks their results. Number 10, not drinking enough water. One of the most common and overlooked mistakes seniors make before a blood test is showing up dehydrated. It seems harmless after all if you're fasting. Why would water matter? But dehydration thickens your blood, making it harder for the needle to draw and skewing results for kidney function, electrolytes, and even blood sugar. When your blood is thicker, waste products like creatinine and urea look higher than they really are, which could falsely suggest kidney trouble. The science is clear. A 2017 study in the American Journal of Kidney Diseases found that mild dehydration increased serum creatinine levels by up to 14% in older adults, enough to move someone from normal to borderline kidney disease. That's a diagnosis that can change medication, diet, and even long-term treatment plans, all because of a simple lack of water. Meet Ruth. She is 71 years old and retired from teaching. She showed up for a fasting blood test without drinking water because she thought fasting meant nothing at all. Her results came back with elevated creatinine, and her doctor warned her about possible kidney issues. When she repeated the test a week later, this time drinking 2 glasses of water beforehand, her numbers were completely normal. A small mistake had nearly put her on a treatment path she didn't need. The solution is simple. Unless your doctor specifically tells you not to, always drink water before your test. Fasting almost always refers to food and caloric drinks, not water. Clear water actually makes your veins easier to find, your blood easier to draw, and your results far more accurate. 2 to 3 glasses in the morning before your appointment can make all the difference. Dehydration is such an easy mistake to fix, but millions of seniors still make it every year. And as dangerous as that is, the next mistake is even trickier, because it's not about what you forget to do, but about what you drink out of habit. Number 9. Drinking coffee or tea before the test. Another mistake senior women often make before a blood test is drinking coffee or tea in the morning. It feels harmless, especially if you take it black with no sugar or cream. But here's the truth. Caffeine is a stimulant that immediately changes your blood chemistry. Within minutes of that first sip, caffeine raises your blood pressure, blood sugar, and stress hormones like cortisol. And when you walk into the lab, your results can reflect that artificial spike, not your real baseline health. A 2013 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that drinking coffee before a glucose test raised blood sugar by up to 8% in older adults. That's enough to push you from a normal reading into pre-diabetic territory, even if your actual metabolism is fine. Similarly, tea, especially black tea, can also impact iron absorption, which can make it look like you're anemic when you're not. Meet Linda. She is 69 years old and retired from nursing. She couldn't imagine starting her day without her morning coffee, so she drank a cup before heading to the lab. Her test results came back showing higher fasting glucose and borderline high blood pressure. Her doctor raised concerns about diabetes and hypertension, but when she repeated the test a week later, this time without coffee, her numbers looked normal. That cup of coffee nearly set her on a path of unnecessary medication. The safest move is simple: avoid coffee and tea completely before a fasting blood test. Drink water instead. If you absolutely need caffeine, save it for right after your blood draw. That way, your results reflect your true baseline, not a temporary caffeine buzz. Many seniors assume just black coffee won't hurt, but the evidence shows otherwise. Even without sugar or cream, it alters enough markers to make your test misleading. And misleading results don't just waste time, they can affect treatment decisions, prescriptions, and your peace of mind. Skipping your morning coffee or tea may feel tough for a day, but the payoff is clarity. One small habit can mean the difference between an accurate diagnosis and unnecessary worry. But while coffee and tea can throw off your numbers, the next mistake is even more surprising because it's not about what you drink, but about what you eat without realizing it's breaking your fast. Number 8, taking daily vitamins or supplements too close to the test. Another mistake senior women make is taking their daily vitamins or supplements too close to a blood test. It feels like a harmless part of your routine, but certain supplements can throw off lab results in big ways. For example, high doses of vitamin B7, often taken for hair and nails, can interfere with thyroid and hormone tests, sometimes making levels look dangerously abnormal when they're perfectly fine. Iron supplements taken before a test can make it seem like your iron stores are higher than they really are. Even vitamin C can skew glucose readings if the test method isn't adjusted for it. Meet Patricia. She is 67 years old and retired from accounting. She took her daily multivitamin before a blood test, thinking it didn't matter. Her results came back showing irregular thyroid hormone levels, and her doctor wanted to retest. When she repeated the blood draw without the vitamin, everything looked normal. That simple habit almost put her through weeks of unnecessary anxiety. The safest approach: unless your doctor instructs you otherwise, hold off on taking supplements until after your test. Waiting just a few hours won't erase long-term benefits, but it can mean the difference between a true reading and one clouded by supplement interference. Skipping your morning vitamins might feel odd, but it ensures your results reflect you, not your pillbox. But if supplements can quietly distort your numbers, the next mistake is even more surprising because it comes from something as simple as brushing your teeth. Number 7, skipping medications without doctor's advice. Many senior women make the mistake of skipping their regular medications before a blood test without asking their doctor first. It often comes from good intentions, thinking that stopping the pills will give a purer result. But here's the problem. Abruptly stopping medications can not only distort your test results, but also put your health at real risk. Blood pressure pills, thyroid medications, diabetes drugs, and blood thinners all have direct effects on blood values. Missing even one dose can create false lows or highs that mislead your doctor. Meet Eleanor. She is 72 years old and retired from retail work. She skipped her thyroid pill before a blood test, hoping her numbers would show her real levels. Instead, the results showed her thyroid was underactive, and her doctor nearly doubled her dose. When Eleanor admitted she had skipped her pill, they had to repeat the test. A simple misstep nearly caused her to take twice the medication she actually needed. The danger here is that some medications are meant to be reflected in your results. For example, if you're being monitored for thyroid health, your test should reflect how your body responds with the medication. The same goes for diabetes or blood pressure drugs. Stopping them artificially resets your body, creating a false picture. Doctors need to see how your body is functioning under treatment, not without it. The rule of thumb is simple: never stop or adjust medications before a blood test unless your doctor specifically tells you to. If something truly needs to be paused, like certain cholesterol or blood thinning medications before specialized tests, your physician will give you clear instructions. But guessing on your own can create confusion, wasted time, and real danger. It might feel like skipping a dose keeps your results clean, but in reality, it muddies the waters. Your test should reflect your health as you live day to day, not an artificial pause you created. And if skipping medication can change results this much, the next mistake is even more surprising because it comes from something so small most people never think twice about it. Number 6, eating light snacks while fasting. One of the biggest misunderstandings seniors have about fasting before a blood test is thinking that a little snack won't hurt. A cracker, half a banana, or even a piece of candy may seem harmless, but your body doesn't see it that way. Even the smallest bite triggers insulin release and starts digestion, which can throw off critical tests like blood sugar, cholesterol, and triglycerides. What looks like a light snack is enough to skew results for hours. A 2018 study in the Journal of Clinical Laboratory Analysis found that eating even a small amount of food within 8 hours of a fasting blood draws significantly altered glucose and triglyceride levels, sometimes by 20 to 30%. That's enough to move someone from normal into borderline or high categories. For senior women, this mistake is even more damaging because metabolism slows with age, meaning even a small snack lingers longer in the system. A teaspoon of sugar in tea or a small piece of fruit can send glucose readings spiking, while fat from a cracker or nut can elevate triglycerides for hours. The rule is simple. Fasting means water only, no snacks, no sugar, no cream, no juice. Anything else is enough to alter your results. If a single cracker can change results that much, the next mistake is even more shocking, because it's something seniors do every morning without realizing how deeply it affects their lab numbers. Before we continue, smash that like button and subscribe right now. Don't miss the life-changing tips still ahead. Number 5, drinking alcohol the night before. Another mistake that distorts blood test results is drinking alcohol the night before. Many senior women think one glass of wine or a small drink won't matter, but alcohol immediately changes your liver's chemistry, blood sugar, and hydration status. By the next morning, those effects can still be present, leading to misleading numbers. A 2019 study in the Clinical Biochemistry Review reported that even moderate alcohol intake within 24 hours of a blood test significantly altered liver enzymes, triglycerides, and glucose levels. In fact, liver enzymes like ALT and AST can rise by 15 to 20%, falsely suggesting liver damage. At the same time, alcohol's dehydrating effect thickens blood, pushing creatinine higher and making kidneys look weaker than they are. Meet Joan. She is 74 years old and retired from library work. She enjoyed a glass of wine with dinner before a fasting blood test. The next morning, her results showed elevated liver enzymes, and her doctor warned her about possible liver strain. She panicked, but when she repeated the test a week later without alcohol, her numbers were back to normal. That one drink nearly gave her a diagnosis she didn't deserve. The safest choice is simple. Avoid alcohol for at least 24 hours before your blood test. That way, your results reflect your true health, not the effects of last night's dinner. If one glass of wine can throw off your numbers that much, the next mistake is even more surprising, because it's something as ordinary as brushing your teeth. Number 4, doing heavy exercise before the test. Another common mistake senior women make is exercising too hard right before a blood test. You might think being active is healthy, and it is, but heavy exercise temporarily floods your blood with changes that make test results look abnormal. Intense activity raises creatine kinase, CK, lactate, and liver enzymes, sometimes making it look like muscle or liver damage when you're perfectly fine. Meet Susan. She is 66 years old and retired from teaching. She thought a brisk workout the morning of her test would help the numbers. Instead, her results showed elevated liver enzymes and muscle markers. Her doctor suggested additional tests for liver stress, until Susan admitted she had exercised hard that morning. When she repeated the test later, her numbers were back to normal. For senior women, the risk is even higher. With age, muscles take longer to recover, so the spike in enzymes lasts longer than it does in younger adults. Heavy exercise before a blood draw can also raise blood sugar temporarily, confusing diabetic screenings. The safest approach is simple. Skip intense workouts for at least 24 hours before your blood test. Light walking or stretching is fine, but anything strenuous can throw off results and cause unnecessary worry. If exercise can create false signs of liver or muscle damage, the next mistake is even more surprising because it's something as routine as brushing your teeth. Number 3, stressing or not sleeping the night before. Another mistake that can ruin blood test results is showing up after a night of poor sleep or stress. Many senior women toss and turn before an early appointment or feel anxious about the test itself. But lack of sleep and high stress both raise cortisol, the body's main stress hormone. Cortisol directly affects blood sugar, blood pressure, and even cholesterol levels, meaning your results may reflect your stress, not your true health. The research is clear. A 2015 study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that just one night of sleep deprivation raised fasting blood sugar by up to 20% in older adults. Another study showed cortisol can raise cholesterol levels by inflaming blood vessels, even when diet hasn't changed. Meet Helen. She is 70 years old and retired from office work. She barely slept the night before her blood test, worrying about the results. Her labs came back with higher than normal glucose and cholesterol. A week later, after a restful night's sleep, her numbers dropped back into the healthy range. The only difference was her stress and sleep. The fix is simple but powerful. Prioritize sleep the night before and use calming routines to lower stress. A warm shower, light reading, or even deep breathing can help settle nerves. And remember, the test itself is just a snapshot. It doesn't define your entire health. If lack of sleep can shift numbers that much, the next mistake is even more surprising because it comes from something you do every single morning without even thinking. Number 2, hiding health habits from the doctor. One of the most damaging mistakes senior women make before blood tests isn't about food, drink, or medication. It's about honesty. Many patients hide their real habits from their doctor, thinking it doesn't matter for one test. But not telling the truth about smoking, alcohol, skipped medications, or supplements can lead to misinterpreted results and the wrong treatment plan. A 2018 survey published in JAMA Network Open found that up to 60% of patients admitted to hiding at least one important health habit from their doctors, often out of embarrassment or fear of judgment. But even small omissions can completely change how a doctor reads your blood work. For example, if you don't admit you had alcohol the night before, elevated liver enzymes may be mistaken for disease. If you don't mention a supplement, unusual hormone or thyroid results may be misdiagnosed. Meet Margaret. She is 68 years old and retired from bookkeeping. She didn't tell her doctor about taking a high-dose herbal supplement before her blood test. Her results came back showing abnormal liver function, and her doctor ordered more testing. When she finally admitted the truth, it became clear the supplement was the culprit, not her liver. That little omission caused weeks of unnecessary stress. The fix is simple. Always be open with your doctor. Don't hold back details out of embarrassment. Doctors aren't there to judge. They're there to interpret. And every detail you share makes your test results more meaningful. But while honesty is key, the final mistake on our list is the one almost no senior woman realizes she's making. And it has the power to throw off nearly every test result on the page. Number 1, not following fasting hours properly. The single most common and dangerous mistake senior women make before a blood test is not following fasting hours correctly. Fasting doesn't just mean skipping breakfast. It means avoiding all food and calorie-containing drinks for the exact number of hours your doctor recommends, usually 8 to 12. Eating too early or fasting too long can both distort your results in ways that lead to misdiagnosis. The science is clear. A 2019 study in the Journal of Clinical Laboratory Analysis showed that breaking a fast even an hour early raised triglycerides by up to 25%, enough to make cholesterol panels look dangerously high. On the other end, fasting too long, say 16 to 18 hours, can cause your body to release stored glucose, leading to falsely elevated blood sugar. Both mistakes create numbers that don't reflect your real health. For senior women, this mistake is even more critical because aging slows metabolism, making the body more sensitive to both under-fasting and over-fasting. Too short and results look inflated. Too long and results look unstable. In both cases, your doctor is left interpreting numbers that don't reflect your true baseline. The fix is simple but essential. Always ask your doctor exactly how many hours you need to fast and stick to that window as closely as possible. Water is fine, but food, coffee, tea, alcohol, or even small snacks are not. Not following fasting hours properly is a mistake that can skew nearly every test on the page: cholesterol, blood sugar, kidney function, and more. And once that error is printed, it can shape your medical care for months. So, there you have it, 10 mistakes senior women make before blood tests that can completely distort the results. These aren't small slip-ups. They're choices that can mean the difference between a correct diagnosis and months of unnecessary medication, between peace of mind and needless fear. The reality is simple. Blood tests don't just measure your health. They measure your habits in the hours before. And if those habits are off, the results will be too. Meetings with doctors are stressful enough. The last thing you need is confusion caused by preventable errors. When you get your blood drawn, you deserve numbers that reflect your true health, not a snapshot clouded by caffeine, stress, or skipped pills. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever made one of these mistakes before a blood test? Maybe drinking coffee, maybe forgetting water, or fasting too long. Share your experience in the comments. I read every single one, and your story could help another woman avoid the same error. And don't forget, like this video, share it with a friend who has a blood test coming up, and subscribe for more clear, science-based senior health tips. Because sometimes the smallest change in your routine can make the biggest difference in your health. If you have any questions or want to share your personal experience, don't hesitate to leave a comment below. We're always listening. Thanks for watching.